Guys, welcome back to the 11th part of Core Java tutorial. In the previous part we already see that what happens when there is a default constructor is present in both child class and parent class. In that case, if we create an object of the child class, it will invoke first the parent constructor, then only it will invoke the default constructor of the parent child. Now I am going to explain what is the use of a super keyword in Java and what happens if there is a default constructor is present, a parameterized constructor is present in both parent and child class. So here I just create a parameterized constructor in child class. The parameter is just a string. String value. I just print a message here, system.out.println. From child parameterized constructor and value get is plus value. Okay, now I am going to do the same thing in the parent also. Now I am going to create a parameterized constructor in parent class also. Parent class, and here is the from parent parameterized constructor. Parent parameterized constructor and value get is value. Okay guys, now you can see in both of these classes there is both parameterized constructor and also a default constructor is present in both of these classes. Now here there is only a public class is present here, and in that public class we just create a default constructor. We just create an object that will invoke the default constructor only. Now I am going to create another object. Now I am going to pass an argument through this constructor. So here I am passing a value called Prabish. I just pass a string value from this object creation. That means it will invoke the default constructor of the it will invoke not the default constructor, it will invoke the parameterized constructor of parent and child. Now in the case of a default constructor, or we can see that it will invoke first the parent constructor, then only it will invoke the child constructor, child class default constructor. But here the thing is quite different. In this case, there is the parameterized constructor of parent is not invoked by the creation of this object. It will only invoke the default constructor of parent. In this case, when we create an object of object that will pass an argument, in that case it will invoke the default constructor of parent instead of parameterized constructor. Then it will invoke the parameterized constructor of child. So I just save the program again, and now I am going to compile the program. Java C superdemo.java. there is no error. I am going to run the program. Java Super Demo. You can see here first the default constructor of parent is invoke, and then only the parameterized constructor of child invoke, and the value passed is Prabish. So from this program you can see that the parameterized constructor of parent is away from execution of the program. So when we create an object that will pass an argument, it will invoke first the parent default constructor, then only it will invoke the child parameterized constructor. That means the parent parameterized constructor is escape from execution. So in that case, in this situation, we use the super keyword. A super keyword is nothing but it's a keyword used to invoke a parent constructor. It will represent a parent constructor. In that case, we can see the parameterized constructor of parent is escape from execution of the program. So we have to use the super keyword to make this parameterized constructor of parent executable. So we have to create a super keyword in the child constructor. Here is the child constructor. So here I am going to create the super keyword super. I just pass the value passed from the object creation as an argument here. Again I save the program. Now I am going to compile it. Program is successfully compiled. Now you can see that instead of executing the default constructor of the parent, it will first invoke the parameterized constructor of parent. Then only it will invoke the parameterized constructor of child. This is the use of super keyword. A super keyword is used for calling the parent constructor. So it will represent super value, that it will represent the constructor of parent that contain an argument. So this constructor is invoked in this case. That means there is the super keyword is present here. Also there is one rule behind super keyword. If you are using a super keyword inside the child constructor, it must be the first statement in that constructor, otherwise it will cause an error. If I just put the super keyword as a second statement in this constructor, you can see an error is occur here. Now I am just compile the program again. You can see that an error is occur. Call to super must be the first statement in constructor. That is a rule you can always remember. You will always keep in mind that if you are using a super keyword, it will be the first statement. It must be the first statement in the child constructor. That is the rule behind super keyword. So thank you for watching. See you in the next part of the tutorial. Guys, subscribe my channel for further Java video tutorial updates. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part of this tutorial.